Okay, in this video we will talk about roots and rational exponents. It sounds a lot more dangerous than it actually is, I promise you. So 9 raised to 3 divided by 2. You have two numbers here. You have a 3 on the top and the 2 at the bottom in the exponent. The 3 is basically a cube and the 2 is a square root. You can do them in either sequence. So I prefer taking the square root first because that will make a smaller number and then raise it to 3. Square root of 9 is 3 and 3 cubed is 27. That's it. Okay. Here we have a negative sign. We have a 1 and a 3. The 1 will not do anything, so we only have to worry about the negative sign and the 3. I will first take the 3 into account. You can do it either way, but either way you can take it to be as a cube root of 8, okay, and the whole thing raised to minus 1. So what is a cube root of 8? 2. And then 2 raised to minus 1 is half. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's look at number 7. It says a cube root of negative 27. What that basically means is that what number multiplied by itself 3 times will give you negative 27, right? That's what we're looking for. What number 3 times? Well, so the cube root of negative 27 is negative 3. Notice I need the negative sign to get the negative 27. For number 8, if you notice, it's asking you what number multiplied by itself 4 times will give negative 16. Well, there is no real number that does that. So no real number roots or no real roots. No real number multiplied by itself 4 times gives negative 16. If you look at number 10, what it says is find the nth root of some number. So this is saying what number multiplied by itself 3 times gives negative 216. So what number multiplied by itself 3 times gives negative 216? And we know that it is negative 6. Notice again a negative sign. So you can have a negative number here if this number is odd. Because, you know, every time you multiply a negative sign, even number of times it will be positive. But an odd number of times, the negative sign remains. So if this number is odd, we can have a negative real number as the answer. So here the answer is what number multiplied by itself 4 times gives 81. But notice I'm going to put a plus or minus. Why? Because I could have a positive number and a negative number that multiplied by itself 4 times to give me 81. I can have a positive 3 and I can have a negative 3. I hope that makes sense, right? The question is what number multiplied by itself 4 times gives 81. I can have a positive 3 multiplied by itself 4 times or a negative 3 multiplied by itself 4 times. In this case, I cannot have a positive 6. A positive 6 multiplied by itself 3 times will not give me negative 216. It will give me a positive 216. Number 15, well, use technology, but before you use technology, I would recommend to write this in an exponent form. Okay, so it's 11 raised to 2 divided by 3. So if you put it in the calculator, it's easier to put it in the 2 divided by 3 form. So just put 11. Okay, so you have a number 11. Raise it, so this is a raise button. Now you can see, well, it's kind of a dim light here, but you can see it's gone to the raised form. and then just put 2 divided by 3 at the top. So it's 11 raised to 2 divided by 3, and then you enter and you get 4.946. So we will round that to 4.95. Okay, it says to round to 2 decimal places, so read the question carefully. And lastly, for 17, well, we want to know what is x. We are solving for x. X is sheltered with a radical of 4, and there's a plus 3. The first step is to get rid of the 4. You cannot touch the 3 unless you get rid of the 4. So we'll have to first get rid of the 4. And I will do that by taking the fourth root of 24. Now why am I doing a plus or minus? You can basically think of it as what number multiplied by itself 4 times gives me 24. Okay, what number multiplied by itself 4 times? And then I will subtract a 3 on both sides. I missed a 4 here. So you can do that, and you will get minus 3 plus or minus. What is the fourth root of 24? Well, it is 24 raised to 1 divided by 4. And that is 2.21. This will give me two numbers. So minus 3 minus 2.21. That did not work. Minus 3, oops. Hold on. Minus 3 minus 2.51 is quite easy to do by hand instead of doing it by calculator. I'm just going to do it by hand. And that is 0.79. For 16, you can do it either way. You can first get rid of the 5 or the 4 because this is multiplied. I think it's easier to get rid of the 4 first. And we can do x to the power 5 is equal to 32. And so what number multiplied by itself 5 times will give me 32? Well, the answer is 2. As an aside, since I still have some time, I don't want to make the video too long, but as an aside, if I were to do it taking the fifth root directly, I would have got this. Okay, if I took the fifth root directly, this is what would have happened. Okay, and if you notice, I will do this on the calculator because I cannot do that in my mind. 4 raised to 0.2 is 1.32x, and 125 raised to 0.2 is 2.63. Now I will not get exactly 2 because I have rounded off the numbers. If I had not rounded off, I would have got exactly what I wanted. But since I rounded off, I got 1.99. So you can see these two side by side. You can either divide the 4 and then take the fifth root, or take the fifth root first and then do the division. Well, thank you for listening. I hope this made sense. Radicals are not as radical as they seem to be.